Hi, I'm Sudhakar Bichali, travel and wedding photographer based out of Hyderabad. I'm also a Fujifilm X Series mentor. Today, our topic is about long exposure photography. Long exposure is a photographic technique that uses a longer shutter speed to achieve a specific visual or a dramatic effect that we try to create in an image. It's one of my favorite type of photography because it's kind of addictive once you get a hang of it. There are many ways we can use this technique to achieve different results. Not only it'll turn water into a smooth surface like a foggy effect, but it can also help remove people from a particular scene or a situation. You know what I'm talking about, right? There are a lot of tourists at one place, so you can't avoid them, so you can always have a long exposure if you have ND filter in the daytime. What gear do you need to create such long exposure images? We will need some equipment. You can use any sort of DSLR or mirrorless camera, but make sure you shoot in manual mode, so we have control over the exposure triangle, right? So the next thing that you need is a good steady tripod. A tripod is essential for long exposure photography because anything 1/60th below will give you a shake in your image. There's a lot of blurriness in the image that you will find. So to avoid this, and because long exposures tend to create photographs from exposures as long as 30 seconds, some could take an hour. So holding for such a long time, very problematic and produce an immense amount of camera shake. A tripod makes your life easier, so invest in one of a good tripods and ensure you get a sharp, clean image. Next, you may need shutter release button. A shutter release is a helpful piece of equipment. We talked about camera shake, isn't it? So due to hand holding, the camera, it might tend to give you, even a small shake like a click of a shutter button, a blurriness in the image. Also, setting your camera on a 10-second timer will help you to tackle this problem. Third one is ND filters. You would need it in case if you're doing the daytime long exposure photography. This makes it possible if you are doing a daytime long exposure photography with the amount of light that comes in the mornings. We often place ND filters in front of our lens. A neutral density filter is a very valuable piece of equipment that you can actually buy. It actually cuts the amount of light that gets into your camera through the lens. It basically works like your sunglasses. It cuts the light and give you the soothing effect, limiting the light that gets into the camera through ND filters. Now, setting it up. First, set up your camera on a tripod. Use manual focus to ensure that the entire scene is absolutely sharp. Make sure your camera settings are perfect and try to keep your ISO on 100 or lowest possible. Use a medium aperture to keep the entire scene in focus, and depending on your shutter speed, utilize the bulb mode in case if you think that your exposures can long more than 30 seconds. You need to be photographing in RAW. This allows more play in post editing your image. Just in case if you don't get it right, you can always tweak the image in your post production. Using your ND filter to cut out the light will work for photographing a scene, but it won't help much with focusing the scene. What you see in your live view or viewfinder will be too dark. So without putting the filter on, set your focus and switch to manual focus to ensure you don't change it. Take a test shot and look at it. Zoom it, sneak peek it, and then see if everything is perfect before you take your long exposure shot. Now, taking the shot. Now that you're ready with the setup, the only thing missing is calculation for the long exposure. How do we calculate the long exposure times or the shutter speed? There are two ways to do it. One, using the mobile apps that will tell you how to do it, how much shutter speed you need it, so that you get the perfect result. Learning the harder way, or you call hard technique, will help you understand how we get to the final exposure that we want, right? So I prefer the later one because trial and error will always give you more knowledge on it when you play around. There are tools that will help you in making your long exposure photography very easier. For smartphones, there is an application called NDCals, things like that. This will calculate the correct shutter speed based on the shutter speed that you need without a filter. It even gives you timer letting you know when to end the exposure, right? So the tricky part or the toughest part. Well, this is a trial and error. But let's say if you're using a 10-stop ND filter, there is 1,000 times less light reaching your camera sensor. This means that you need to lengthen your shutter speed by 1,000. Confusing, isn't it? So if you're a shutter speed of, let's say if you're using a shutter speed of 1/30, it extends to 32 because there's an interval. 1/25 will become 8 seconds of your exposure. I know this is very confusing, but do a trial and error. It'll help you master it. Some tips for now: visit the location well in advance, compose the image and make sure you lock the focus. Check the histogram always. Like I said, always shoot raw, always shoot manual for this kind of creative shots. Try to use golden hour or blue hour for your long exposures. It will make it more dramatic. Like I said, please use any wide angles that you have. It's a preferable wide lens for long exposure. So let's start with some of the examples that I shot. First one, stunning light trails. This type of long exposure photography is good to start with for basic. Shot with ISO 100 f/18, 30 seconds exposure. Look at this image. This was shot with a GFX 50 medium format camera. Traffic headlight and tail light trails give you stunning effect and are a great way to get acquainted with long exposure times. Select a busy road that has a lot of traffic at night. Use a nice good tripod and position the camera so that you have the entire overview of the area. That's why I said use wide angle lens. Now use a small aperture of, let's say, f/14, f/16 for a greater depth of field so that you make the most of the image in focus. The longer the exposure, the more lines will appear and the longer they look. They look more fantastic the more it is. So the next one, blurry sea waters, or you call it a foggy effect. This shot was taken with Fuji X-H1 120 seconds ISO 200. I used 10-24mm lens, the ultra wide angle lens. One way you do the coastal long exposure photography is to capture the water's movement in the form of a fog, right? It looks amazing. To create this foggy effect, you have to have waves. A still calm sea will always appear as a straight washout line with a long streaks of white exposure. To capture the dramatic look of the ocean and the sky or any water body that you're shooting, should utilize the fantastic light of the golden hour or the last hour before the sun sets. That will make your imaging more pop out, more stunning. So follow the basics of night photography for such kind of images. Place the camera on a tripod, use a wide angle lens with the smallest aperture possible and focus to infinity. Turn the camera's mode dial to manual or bulb and use slow shutter speed. Let's say start with anywhere between 5 to 30 seconds for a longer exposure. The longer the exposure, the mistier the water gets. Use your camera's self timer or a cable release or your 10-second delay. Take the photo with absolutely no blurring. Don't use flash because you wouldn't need it. it might cause artificial effect on the image. It'll ruin the image, right? Some of other images that you can look at. Third one, amazing night skies. This was also shot with GFX 50R, 32mm focal length, ISO 2500, and it's a 30 seconds exposure, shot at f4, manual mode. Infinity focus, prime lens, tripod, a torch, good foreground element in a composition. This is all you need. Of course, this type of long exposure photography is quite different from what we do in cityscapes, because you may have to use your high ISOs starting from 1600 to 4000, and you'll have to use the larger apertures for such kind of photography to capture night skies or Milky Ways. So the more you practice, the more you will become tuned to the exposure you need for the effect you want. I would always prefer the hard part. Do the trial and error style. You would master it in no time. So keep shooting, keep watching. Until next time, Sudhakar Vichali signing off.